I grew up in Africa, and to be precise, in Cameroon. And one thing I have to say about Africa is that for me, Africa is a country. So I'm not going to be talking a lot about the specific country in which I grew. I'm just going to be talking about it when it comes to things that are relevant to that country. For example, the currency, certain things that was going on. But I believe that in Africa, the issues we're facing are global all around. Let me not say global, we all face them, be it in Cameroon, in Ghana, in Nigeria. So I'm going to be talking about Africa as a whole. So growing up in Africa, one very specific thing I can remember is the way they taught us to think about money. And by this, I mean the whole idea behind making money, how to make money, when is a good time to make money. Generally, when we are young, they tell us that we need to go to school, have a degree, have master's degree, doctorate degree, and ultimately get the highest level of education possible, as that will allegedly increase our chances of making more money and getting higher in the corporate world and whatnot. And when I try to go back in time and think about myself, even from a very young age, I have never really believed in this way of thinking. I've always thought that young people can do more than just what is being told. That is the traditional path. And from a very young age, I've always tried to look for alternative methods of finding money, alternate skills that are not taught in school, and I always found myself trying to learn extra skills. I remember I learned how to draw, I learned Photoshop, I learned how to make videos, I learned how to code all by myself, I learned how to make video games. I was just learning a bunch of things just because I told myself that going to school cannot be the only way to learn things. There should be other ways. And I found myself having a lot of fun learning all these other things and didn't even know that these things could make me money, because I was not first doing it. Because at first I was not doing all these things in order to make money. I was just doing it because I realized that you could learn things that you like from somewhere else that is not school. So being a person who really liked learning new things, all these skills that I'm learning or all these things that I'm doing could be translated to money at some point. So that is how I was eventually able to make my first money online. And this was not really much, it was just something like $100. And I designed and built a website for someone. It was really nothing much, but at that time I was either 15 or 16 years old. And if you're from Africa, you know that 16 or 15 years old is not really an age where anyone expects you to make money. At 15 or 16, you're expected to go to school, have good grades, start thinking about the university you're going to go to, and eventually the job you're going to get when you get out of the university. So making money is even out of the equation. And here I'm talking about people who are in okay homes, because there are people who are in very broken homes where the parents really don't have money, so they have to go out by themselves, get some money for the household, and they cannot really go to school. But for the rest of us whose parents are focusing a lot on education, that is really most African parents, we all know that they take school very seriously, they take education very seriously. And to them, having a formal education is your gateway towards success. It's not really a flawed way of thinking, because at their time, that was true. But I realized that there were way more ways that you could make money, especially online. So typically the average youth in Cameroon or in Africa earns less than $100 a month. And in Cameroon currency, I think that's like 60,000 francs, but in dollars, that's like $100. But I was able to make my first million francs, and that is like $2,000, while I was still in the university in Cameroon, and that was in the year 2021. And if you think about it, that is really, really amazing. And at that time, I was spending so much money that I really did not know how to even spend it. Right now, that is not really much money, but at that time, it was really, really much money. I was making like $200 every single week. As how old was I? Was I 18 or 17? I don't remember, but I was really young. I wasn't really having any bills to pay. That was basically money that I was using to spend. So the reason I'm saying all this is that a lot of youth in Africa have lost hope. They think that they only need to go through the highest level of education in order to start thinking of making money, or they have to leave the country and go abroad in order to start making money. I'm currently not in Africa or Cameroon, I'm currently in the US, but I was even making more money than my professors in school. But I was still in school, and I was still in Cameroon, to be precise, in Africa. And the reason I was able to make this much money, or the reason I was able to make money at all, was that I just stopped focusing on the conventional path that had been laid out to me, and I started thinking about making money. Before I started making that amount, I was what they call a school guy. So I was spending nearly 6 hours every single day, 6 to 8 hours every single day, just studying physics, studying mathematics, studying all this cool stuff. And I'll get really good grades, like A grades, and I'll be very proud, parents will be very proud, and so on. So it was after the summer holidays, I had like a reality check after spending over 8 hours every single day learning how to code. And till today, I still code. That is what I actually do. But I had somewhat of a reality check. I asked myself, myself that this time I'm spending to study things for school to get all these A grades, what if I take all this time and look for how to make money? Because people make money online, people make money in real life and all that. They should have started somewhere. There should be a way or methodology that you can use to actually make money. And it's when I started exploring this idea that I started discovering new methods of making money that were not only related to school, and I came upon crypto trading. I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, crypto is a scam and all those kind of things, but anytime somebody calls something that others are using to make money a scam, it's just because they have zero understanding of how it works, and they cannot actually understand how someone can make millions using just their mobile device. So I started really looking into this. Instead of spending 6 hours, 7 hours a day reading book or studying chemistry, mathematics and so on, I started spending 2 to 3 hours researching on how to trade, researching on how to invest and all those kind of stuff. I started by putting a little bit of money to try to trade by myself. I lost it all, obviously. I lost all my money like twice, and when I say all my money, it was not much money, it was just like $30. The third time I tried with my money was probably like another $30. That was like 15,000 francs at the time. That is when I was able to scale that $30 to $200, and from there I was making like $300 a week, $200 a week. And yeah, that may not sound much if you're watching me from a country like the US, but in Africa, $200 a week or $300 a week, whole bunch of money. So I was making that consistently, and from there on now, I stopped focusing on school entirely. Like I will study like 2 hours a day, 1 hour a day. Sometimes I will not study at all. I'll just be studying markets, studying graphs, studying trends, seeing how you can actually do to invest your money in something and make your money grow. Just seeing cool strategies to invest in relevant coin. So I was spending all my time doing that, and I realized that the thing you actually put your mind to is what you're going to get at the end. So if you spend your time focusing on school, you're going to get very good grades, but good grades don't naturally convert to good money. So conversely, if you use that mindset and focus all your time on how to make money, eventually you're going to find a way to make money and get better at the skill that is bringing you money. And then once you start getting a lot of money, people will say that you've done something bad or you've scammed or they'll call you all kind of names because they have not taken their time to actually learn something that is that lucrative. That is why I want to encourage every youth right now. Knowledge has been democratized. Power has been decentralized. You don't need to be in an institution. You don't need to be in a company. You don't need to be behind somebody to learn things, to gain new opportunities and so on. Let's even look at in the music industry right now. You see a lot of new musicians popping up who are independent because they don't need a record label to promote their music anymore. I mean, if you have a record label, it's better, but if you have a little bit of understanding of the world, you realize that in order to get, let's say, a big record label to sponsor your song or to promote you, you have to do certain dirty things because the people at the top are really evil. They want to take advantage of you and then set all these conditions just so that they can help you promote yourself. Whereas nowadays, these things have been decentralized. You can go on TikTok, get your music viral, get your video viral, start working on yourself, start promoting your business, your music by yourself without passing through anything or anyone. That is why I encourage every youth today. Everything is no longer centralized. The path towards making money is no longer in one place. It's no longer in one building where you just have to go to a building, listen to one teacher who is not even as successful as you want, and then end up being lost. Right now, you can actually get up and do something by yourself, but you have to first of all start by being intentional about it. You have to want it. You cannot wish for it. You cannot dream about it. You cannot just talk about it. You have to want it. Then you look at yourself, you look at what niche is compatible to you, because I always see a lot of people, they ask me that how can I do to make my first money online? You have to do research. There are so many ways. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm developing applications. I'm running an online school to teach people how to code, but that is not the only way. Before I was into cryptocurrencies and trading. Right now I'm into programming and running an online school. There are other people who are into digital marketing. There are other people who only do social media. And even when I'm even thinking about it, at a certain point I was only doing social media. Like I was very active on Facebook, I was very active on TikTok and YouTube, and I was getting paid at least $1,000 a month, sometimes $1,500 a month. And this is when I was still in the university, because I just graduated a year ago, and while I was in the university I was already making $1,000, $2,000 and having a job in school while still being in the university. So I think since I started making money online in 2021, there hasn't really been a year where I haven't found a way to make money online, even though I've made money in like several different ways. And all that is just because always search. It doesn't come to you when you just wish for it. You have to search for it. So now, if you're wondering how can you do to search, the first thing I'll say is that you should develop a skill, because as I said, you can make money anywhere, anyhow, but you have to start from somewhere. So pick a niche, pick a particular niche, then learn the skill required in order for you to navigate that niche. For example, if you want to become a developer and start building applications for people, because that pays very well. The last application I built paid over $6,000, something like that. So, and the application is set, and you can typically deliver that in a month or two, or even less. I even built a website one time for $2,000 that basically took me 2 weeks to build. I could even take less than 2 weeks, but I just had a lot of other things to do that, it took me more time than I was supposed to take. So this is just to say that you have to start by picking a niche, then learn the skill for that niche, get good at that skill, and in order to get good at a certain skill, you have to be willing to fail. You're not just going to come into a niche or start a new skill and get good at it in a week or two. It's going to take months, or it's going to take a few years even, but think about it. If you don't start right now, in the next 10 years, you can have no skill. So better start right now. You sacrifice some time. You take about 5 months to 1 year to get good at that. Then you start looking at the money making opportunities. So this style of content or this style of videos is something new that I want to start. That is a more intimate or more, let me say, close to you type of content, where I share my thoughts without scripting out the video too much. And I'm just really talking to you as if you were my friend, or as if you were my little brother, or someone I was trying to help. So let me know if you like this style of video more, and if you want to see more of it, let me know in the comment section. So thanks for watching the video, and see you in the next episode.